Good evening and many thanks for joining us. This is QTV Nightly News, which is also on Q Radio on 103.3 FM with me, Ansumana Iso Nyase. Here are the main news headlines. Senegal's Minister for African Integration, Foreign Affairs and Senegalese Abroad, Cheikh Niang, visited the Gambia on Thursday to strengthen bilateral ties between the two nations. He was received by his Gambian counterpart, Senegal Njai. On Thursday, the Inter-Party Committee convened a national conference to foster dialogue on hate speech and inclusive politics in the Gambia. The Female Lawyers Association of the Gambia Flag, in collaboration with the Judiciary of the Gambia, held a certificate award ceremony for participants of the second cohort of the Sharia personal law training at the courts complex in Banjul. Jabo Sisao, youth parliamentarian for Upper Fuladu West, has been elected as the new Speaker of the National Youth Parliament, marking the start of a new generation of young leaders dedicated to strengthening youth participation in national development and decision-making. And on Tuesday, a new hotel and restaurant was inaugurated in Jara Pakalinding village, Lower River region, aiming to boost the tourism and hospitality industry in rural Gambia. Stay tuned as we bring you more on these and other stories. And now here's the news in detail. Senegal's Minister for African Integration, Foreign Affairs and Senegalese Abroad, Cheikh Niang, visited the Gambia on Thursday to strengthen the bilateral ties between the two nations. He was received by his Gambian counterpart, Senegal Njai. Mamadou Gajaga attended the event and here now reports.
The Gambia and Senegal are again strengthening their decades-long bilateral cooperation with the visit of Cheikh Niang, the Minister of African Integration, Foreign Affairs and Senegalese Abroad. He was warmly welcomed by his counterpart, Senegal Njai, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, International Cooperation and Gambians Abroad. After a brief closed-door session, where the two ministers discussed areas of cooperation, Minister Njai renewed the Gambia's commitment to further strengthening the already strong ties with Senegal.
This morning, we had a very fruitful engagement, bilateral meeting in the office, and all that was discussed had to do with how we can reinforce and enhance our bilateral relations between the two countries. The Gambia and Senegal continue to enjoy cordial and excellent bilateral relations, and we want to take this opportunity also to express our gratitude to Senegal for all the support that has been provided to the Gambia. My brother and I have already discussed issues that has to do with how we can collaborate closely.
As well as very strong geographical, cultural and linguistic ties, the two countries have strong trade, defense and security ties. Cheikh Niang says the Gambia is an important ally of Senegal and recounted meeting his counterpart in New York on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly. Minister Niang also said Senegal-Gambia relations will be further strengthened.
We are two states, but one nation. This is the Senegal-Gambian nation. It's very difficult to find a Gambian who has not Senegalese relatives, and vice versa. So our role as Minister of Foreign Affairs is to make sure that those links, those relations strengthen day after day. And we are very glad to see that level of quality in our relationship. And I'm glad that we have the same commitment to make them stronger.
Gambia and Senegal's relationship is characterized by close social, ethnic and religious ties, and both countries are members of ECOWAS. In addition, their governments continue to ensure those ties remain and are strengthened. Mamadou Gajaga, QTV News.
Now, on Thursday, the Inter-Party Committee convened a national conference to foster dialogue on hate speech and inclusive politics in the Gambia. Mam Nabuka attended the opening ceremony and seen our reports.
The National Conference follows the successful completion of a series of regional sensitization workshops conducted across the Gambia, which engaged around 500 political leaders, including representatives from youth and women's groups. Bringing together the leadership and senior executives of all 19 registered political parties in the Gambia, this gathering is part of a wider initiative funded by the UN Peacebuilding Fund through UNESCO Dakar. The project aims to strengthen the nation's peace-building infrastructure and foster social cohesion by tackling hate speech and promoting inclusive politics. In the Gambia's polarized political landscape, hate speech threatens social cohesion and democracy, as divisive language from leaders or senior party officials can fuel violence, deepen divides, and erode public trust in democratic institutions. This national conference aims to promote a culture of respect and understanding in order to ensure a more stable and peaceful Gambia, especially ahead of the upcoming 2026 elections. Halifa Saleh, the advisor of the Inter-Party Committee, shed light on the significance of the event.
The nation belongs to us. You have your consent, I have my consent. All have equal consent, which determines our representation. Mine alone cannot determine what happens in this country. Therefore, I can petition, I can protest, but I cannot change a government alone. Few people can protest, they can write petition, they can protest, but they cannot change a whole government for the people. Together as a whole, our collective might, our collective will, the majority, can't change a government. Therefore, we should exist in peace. That's what the IP is saying. That's what we are here today, assembled to consolidate.
Cherno M. Jallo is the vice chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, and Michelle Kenmu is the UNESCO representative.
We at the Commission must applaud the timeliness and relevance of this gathering, because we want to, as we have always stated, foster inclusive, participatory, transparent, and peaceful elections. And we cannot do it alone.
It's important that our engagement in politics does not create an environment of division, because it is only when a country lives at peace that that country can actually achieve development.
Mama Kande, leader of the Gambia Democratic Congress, says he has been advocating for the elimination of hate speech in Gambian politics since before the establishment of the IPC.
Everybody wants to see the development of this country. Everybody wants to see the peace and tranquility of this country. Then why the fight? Why the insult? Why the hate? We don't need all that. All we need is unity and development. So let us put the Gambia first before anything else.
The IPC expressed hope that the conference will not only improve the Gambia's political climate, but also strengthen its democracy. Mamna Buka, reporting for QTV News.
Now, the Female Lawyers Association of the Gambia, FLAG, in collaboration with the judiciary of the Gambia, held a certificate award ceremony for participants of the second cohort of the Sharia pastoral law training at the court complex in Banjul. Loliam Kamara has the details.
The event took place at the courts complex in Banjul, bringing together members of the legal community, including the Chief Justice and Sharia law experts. The ceremony marked the end of a comprehensive training program designed to deepen participants' understanding of Sharia personal law and its application within the Gambia's legal system. Ananjai, president of the Female Lawyers Association of the Gambia, explained that the training aimed to strengthen the capacity of female lawyers to represent women and children before the Qadi courts with professionalism, empathy, and a thorough understanding of the legal system. By having gained a deeper understanding of legal reasoning, legal systems, legal institutions, and the role of law in society. She praised the participants for their dedication to ongoing legal education.
Through this initiative, the Female Lawyers Association seeks to bridge the gap by ensuring that female lawyers of the association are well equipped with both the technical and the contextual knowledge needed to effectively serve in the Kadi court.
Delivering a statement on behalf of the consultants, Kadi Omar Seka, chairperson of the Kadi Appeals Panel and a Sharia law expert, highlighted the importance of the training, noting that many stakeholders are now engaging with the courts to better understand the precedents and subsistence law, which are essential tools for defending their cases effectively. He also mentioned some of the challenges faced within the courts.
That's why this training was very important training for our legal system, particularly for the Kadi court. We do have many problems where we face some lawyers or some counsels defending their litigants, but only rounding about to the technical area without going deeper to the substantive area of Sharia.
The Chief Justice Hassan Bijalo, while congratulating the newly certified lawyers, stressed that well-trained and knowledgeable legal practitioners are vital for maintaining the rule of law in the Gambia. Chief Justice Jallo reaffirmed the judiciary's commitment to enhancing legal education and capacity building in the justice sector.
So it's a matter of ensuring that the quality of justice that comes from the Kadi courts is of the highest quality, but also ensuring that the right of the ordinary litigants of access to justice in this particular instance is given reality. And part of giving reality to that right is through ensuring that there are adequately trained legal practitioners who can assist litigants.
The ceremony concluded with the presentation of certificates to those who successfully completed the training. The Sharia personal law training is part of ongoing efforts by the Female Lawyers Association of the Gambia and partners to harmonize the Gambia's dual legal system and promote justice delivery that respects both civil and Islamic principles. For QTV News, Loli M. Kamara.
And the report there by Loli M. Kamara will lead us to the commercial break, but we will be right back.
Join the biggest network with the cheapest tariff in the Gambia and enjoy crystal clear calls and super fast internet at the cheapest tariff, only with QCell. Rush now and grab your free QCell SIM card today from any of our care centers near you. QCell, our biggest network with the cheapest tariff. QCell Senior Boss. We innovate, others follow.
Browse with us. QCell brings you a promo like never before. Get unlimited internet for just $25. Yes! Recharge $25 and enjoy the convenience of free internet from 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. every day with our Browse with Us promo. With this amazing offer, you can browse, stream, and download all your favorite movies for free. So why wait? Recharge $25 today and enjoy free internet only with QCell between 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. For more information, call customer care on 111. QCell, Senior Bus, we innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. Now, Jabu Sisao, youth parliamentarian for Upper Fuladu West, has been elected new Speaker of the National Youth Parliament. This follows the swearing-in ceremony of the 10th National Youth Parliament, ushering in a new cohort of young leaders tasked with amplifying youth voices in national development and decision-making. More in this report. Monday's event officially marked the conclusion of the 9th legislature and the commencement of the 10th. As newly elected representatives took office after being formally sworn in and the election of a new Speaker and Deputy Speaker, presided over by officials of the Independent Electoral Commission. Outgoing Speaker Omar Cham and Deputy Speaker Ndegen Job delivered heartfelt speeches reflecting on their tenure. They highlighted key achievements of the previous legislature while also acknowledging the persistent socio-economic challenges facing Gambian youth and urged the government to scale up efforts aimed at addressing these challenges particularly in the areas of education, employment, and political inclusion.
Do not settle for echo. Be the roar of responsible change. Let history record that in your time, when your challenges were great, you choose collaboration over complaint.
It has been a good 5 years of leadership, of sacrifice, of impact, and most profoundly, delivering to the young people of the Gambia.
In a show of solidarity with the youth agenda, UNDP and UNFPA representatives Mandisa Masolugu and Lamin Kamara and the EU ambassador to the Gambia, Immaculada I. Cortes, emphasized the vital role of youth in the Gambia's development, citing latest census figures which showed youths make up over 77% of the population. They called for increased investment in youth initiatives, pledged support to the National Youth Parliament, and highlighted the importance of evidence-based policy making backed by data and research.
With 5 years left to 2030, we are at a crossroads for financing for development, investments at scale, and transformation to make a meaningful impact on people's lives.
We are committed to accelerating progress on ending preventable maternal deaths, ending gender-based violence and harmful practices, meeting the unmet need for family planning, and critically adapting to demographic change through rights-based policies.
Youth and women are the key stakeholders for us. They are the key targeted populations, and we are working very much to improve their capabilities and the stakes in the ruling and the future of the Gambia.
Buba Jata, Deputy Clerk of the National Assembly and a founding member of the NYP, alongside Alaji Jaju, the Executive Director of the National Youth Council, echoed calls for increased youth participation in political processes. They underscored the relevance of the Youth Parliament as a platform for cultivating leadership and ensuring that the youth perspectives are integrated into national discourse. Meanwhile, newly elected Speaker of the 10th Youth Legislature, Jabu Sisao, delivered her inaugural address, calling for unity among young people and urging members to uphold their roles as representatives of the youth. The event, which also marked the official opening session of the 10th Youth Legislature, witnessed the signing of a new partnership agreement between the EU delegation in Banjul and the National Youth Parliament, aimed at strengthening institutional support and enhancing youth-led policy advocacy initiatives. The National Youth Parliament continues to serve as a critical platform for nurturing future leaders and ensuring the active participation of young people in the Gambia's democratic process. Ansmane Sonyasi for KTV News. Now, the Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources, in collaboration with the Ministry of Fisheries, Water Resources and National Assembly Matters, hosted a forum on integrating climate change adaptation and gender equality into sectoral policies. Loliam Kamara reports.
Supported by the UNIDO GEFT 6 project, the event brought together senior policymakers, technical staff, government officials and women groups for in-depth discussions and capacity building with a focus on integrating climate adaptation and gender equality into national policies. Dr. Anna Mbenga Cham, Director of Fisheries at the Department of Fisheries and Water Resources, emphasized the importance of mainstreaming gender in the fisheries sector.
I would emphasize that empowering women in the fisheries value chain through capacity building, access to improved technologies, and inclusive policy frameworks. It is a strategic investment in the resilience, productivity, and sustainability. Supporting women strengthens the entire fisheries sector and ensures that adaptation efforts are equitable and impactful across all levels of society.
Ahmad Tijan Job, Principal Assistant Secretary at the Ministry of Fisheries, called the project a strategic step towards building sustainable and inclusive climate resilience for all Gambians.
It is here that we will deepen our shared understanding of this complex impact at play, moving from abstract data to concrete, localized knowledge, and it is here that we will collectively develop the nuanced gender-responsive adaptation strategies that are absolutely critical for the long-term sustainability of our vital sectors.
Ibrahima Jawara is the Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources.
The need for innovative and sustainable practices in our fisheries sector has never been more urgent. And I'm confident that the knowledge and skills shared in this workshop will empower us to take decisive action. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the strong partnership our ministry has forged with the Ministry of Fisheries, Water Resources and National Assembly Matters. Together, we are committed to mainstreaming climate change adaptation and gender equality into our sectoral policies, ensuring that our strategies are inclusive and effective.
Climate change experts warn that rising sea levels, ocean acidification, and changes in marine biodiversity threaten the Gambia's fisheries, food security, and livelihoods. Updating policies to include sustainable fishing, habitat restoration, and early warning systems can reduce these risks. Participants will discuss climate impacts, community engagement, and legal frameworks for mainstreaming climate adaptation and gender equality, among other topics, to come up with next steps for implementation. For QTV News, Loli M. Kamara.
The second Gambia International Social Protection Conference 2025 wrapped up on Wednesday with renewed calls for increased funding to the sector and an inclusive approach to social protection. Alucia tells us more.
The three-day conference, organized by the National Social Protection Agency in collaboration with development partners, brought together key stakeholders to discuss strategies for strengthening social protection systems in the Gambia. Anna Njai of the National Social Protection Agency presented the conference's key recommendations and outcomes, which she handed over to Foreign Affairs Minister Senegal-Gambia Njai for consideration by the government.
Integrate disaster risk financing instruments within the National Social Protection System to enable rapid scale-up of assistance during shocks such as floods, droughts, food crisis, etc. This includes establishing a national contingency financing mechanism and linking early warning systems with social protection delivery systems.
There were also statements from development partners. Ndeiro Sarr, the UNFPA country representative, speaking on behalf of the UN country team, Dr. Sintik Tafa Ugbe, Director of Humanitarian and Social Affairs at ECOWAS, and Tariq Kubash of the EU Gambia office, all of whom reaffirmed their commitment to continue working with the government to realize its sustainable development goals, ensuring no one is left behind.
So the United Nations as a whole, who are present and not present today in this room, will continue to work with the government and will ensure that no one is left behind.
We'll capitalize on what is happening here in the Gambia, employment and disability inclusion, working with all our social partners.
We'll make sure that addressing vulnerability will be given the due importance.
Mamadou K. Diba, the Executive Director of the National Social Protection Agency, expressed gratitude to his organizing committee members and partners for their support in making the conference a success.
Conference proceedings reflect the diverse views that were expressed here, and which were led by the panelists and also our resource person.
Senegal-Gambia Njai, the Gambia's Minister of Foreign Affairs, International Cooperation and Gambians Abroad, said the government is committed to strengthening social protection funding across all sectors. He emphasized that accountability mechanisms will be enhanced to ensure every dollar spent translates into tangible improvements in people's lives.
We must adopt sustainable financing strategies in line with the Addis Ababa declarations on financing for development. This means prioritizing domestic resource mobilization. The government of the Republic of the Gambia, under the able leadership of His Excellency President Barrow, will continue to work with all stakeholders to create fiscal space through increased revenue mobilization and prudent expenditure management, so that social spending is both prioritized and safeguarded.
As the conference ends, participants and stakeholders are expected to return to their respective institutions and communities to transform these commitments into meaningful action. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
On Tuesday, a new hotel and restaurant was inaugurated in Jara Pakalinding village, Lower River region, aiming to boost the tourism and hospitality industry in rural Gambia. Our regional correspondent Bakari Balde attended the colorful ceremony and filed this report.
The Bridge Hotel and Restaurant is situated along the Trans-Gambia Highway, about 3 kilometers from Jara Soma, near the bridge connecting the country's north and south riverbanks. Thanks to its strategic location, it serves as an ideal base for travelers seeking to explore the Gambia hinterland, renowned for its rich bird life, while also offering convenient access to neighboring Senegal. Hadunjatu Njai, General Manager of both Gala Lodge Hotel and Restaurant and the Bridge Hotel and Restaurant, highlighted some of the key services offered at the new establishment.
We have decent rooms with strong Wi-Fi facility. We also do have a conference room which is state-of-the-art, and most especially the service you will get out here will be second to none where quality counts.
Peter Engels, owner of Gala Lodge Hotel and Restaurant and managing partner of the Bridge Hotel and Restaurant, explains the motivation behind establishing this new facility in rural Gambia.
To develop this area, because everything is located on the coastline. So what we want to do is to help people in getting a job, making their own money and being proud of being a Gambian.
Milan Zolak, managing partner of the Bridge Hotel and Restaurant, and his wife Nicolette Clover, said the peaceful nature of the Gambia and the warmth of its people were key motivations for their investment. They also shared their hopes and expectations for the new venture.
What I think the most beautiful part of the Gambia is over here. So if we can push tourists to this beautiful countryside of the Gambia and let the local people also start doing business in tourism, I think slowly this area will also develop and start to grow even more and more, because Pakalinding literally stole our heart.
Yeah, Gambia stole our heart, the people, the environment, the nature, the food, the colors of the ocean and the sand. Everything is so perfect in the Gambia. So we're very happy to be here. And we like it to be in a part where there's no tourism yet, but it deserves a lot of tourism.
The Bridge Hotel and Restaurant features well-furnished, high-quality apartments equipped with full air conditioning, ceiling fans, and a swimming pool. Guests are assured of a comfortable stay and excellent dining experiences during their upriver explorations. The hotel also offers activities such as guided bird watching tours and community visits. The Bridge Hotel and Restaurant is a symbol of renewed investment in rural Gambia, promoting tourism, creating jobs, and showcasing the region's potential as a growing hospitality destination. The inauguration ceremony was attended by the regional governor, government officials, the district chief, and local community elders. Bakari Balde, QTV News.
And I'm afraid this is where we draw the curtains on this bulletin. But do join us at 10 p.m. for another bulletin. Thanks for watching.